So next up we have Ben SEARS, who started his career as a DevOps consultant in the enterprise space and is currently the CTO of Servicebot. Ben will take us through a speed demo of Servicebot's newest launch entitled Imagine Zapier, but instead of zaps, you build billing pages and embed them directly to your website. Ben, you've got my attention with that title. Do I have you?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Take it away, Ben.
Perfect. So I'm assuming you can see my screen. So today we're going to be talking about how to actually build a complex billing system with no code. Now, what does that mean? So a big problem that a lot of people face when they're building out no code solutions is that it's tough to get billing right. And what I mean by this is when you're building out billing, you generally have to settle for a very simple billing system, like just a basic flat like subscription to gain access into your app. You can't do anything too complex, otherwise the tools just don't support it. So in this case, in this talk, I'm going to be getting my hands dirty and actually building an application that has one of these complex billing cases with no code. So what does that mean? So we're going to be building out a simple application that has training lessons, and they're going to be gated by the tier you're on. We're going to have like basic lessons and premium lessons. A user who comes into this application is going to need to be able to invite their team members to gain access to these lessons. And then the most important part here is that the customer who is inviting these team members, they're going to be billed based on the number of team members they invite. So that's going to be like $5 per team member per month. And just to add in a little extra bonus complexity, we're going to make it so the first 3 team members they invite are going to be free of charge. The tools we're going to be using to this is at the base level, we're going to be making an application with Bubble. The billing is going to be done all through Stripe, and the billing UI is going to be using Servicebot. Now, something I want to ask the audience, and there's going to be a link in chat that you can go to, there's going to be a form that you can fill out, is how long is it going to take me to build out this sample application? We're going to give out hoodies to the 3 closest times. There's the link on the screen. There's going to be a link in the chat. Shar should be posting that, and then just go there, fill it out, enter a time, minutes and seconds, whatever, and after the talk we'll send you emails. So let's get started here, because it's going to be quite a journey we're going to go on. There's something we're going to be using called the Servicebot Kickstarter template. It's a Bubble template that has a lot of a very basic billing system baked into a Bubble application, just using Servicebot. So that's where I'm going to start, and I'm going to just go ahead and start the clock here on the right. So boom, we're going to start by creating our Bubble application. So we're just going to call this conference test app 1, just in case there's a duplicate. We're going to be starting with the Servicebot starter kit here, create a new app. And then I'm just going to go through a quick demo of what this template starts off with, just so we know where we're starting from, and then I'll explain exactly what we need to do to this application to get it to where we want. So this is created, so we can go ahead and check that off. We don't need the assistant for this. So I'm just go ahead and click preview here. We're going to create a example dummy account. So we're going to say test email account 123 at whatever. All right, so we go and sign up. Oh, yeah, sometimes this happens where it doesn't let you actually do anything until you refresh. Let me do that. Sorry about that. Oh, just did it again. Okay, I think we'll be good this time. Oh, we just updated the page. Okay. Sorry. I'm on the clock here. All right, so now it's going to go ahead and create the account. And once we get into the app, I'll show you, we'll see that we have 2 tiers here. So we have lessons that you can access. We're on free tier right now, so we can access the basic lessons. There's a set of premium lessons you need to upgrade to access. So if I click upgrade right here, we're going to be able to be prompted with a Servicebot plan picker. So just a moment, it should display. There we go. So we can go ahead and purchase a premium plan. So this is just showing what the template comes with. It's just a very basic checkout. We need to add per user billing to this, which is what our business use case is going to be. So see, we have now access to premium lessons. If we click this billing button at the top, we're going to be able to self-service our subscription. This is just using an out-of-the-box Servicebot embed that has a plugin for Bubble. So we can cancel, change plan, download invoices, update credit card, all that good stuff. All right, so that's the demo. I'm just gonna check that one off. Now, what we need to do is add per user seat-based billing and seat-based functionality to this Bubble application. So we're gonna do some very basic stuff in Bubble. So one thing to add a very basic team management in Bubble is I'm gonna create a field on the user table called member of, and that is going to represent a user. This will let us have users be members of an admin user for a very basic team functionality. The other field we want to add is going to be called max team members. This is going to basically let us know how many team members a person is entitled to when they're for billing purposes, and we'll get into that in a little bit. So that's what our database is going to look like within Bubble. Let me go ahead and do that. Okay. Next step for us is going to be creating the team page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new page in here. We're going to call it team. I'm going to clone my dashboard so I can keep the styles, and let's go ahead and delete the stuff we don't need. So just boom, that's gone. I'm going to change this to say team. And next thing, just so I don't forget, I'm going to make sure I add it to the header. So let's go open up our header, and let me just copy this guy right here. Now it's not going to look perfect because we're on a time crunch here, but that'll do. So let me just change this icon to what I want is the user's icon, that one. And then let's change this to say team and point to the team page. There we go. All right, now we are playing here. Let's go back to the team page we're working on. All right, now you see it's in the header. So one of the things I like a lot is this repeating group element in Bubble. It lets you display lists of things. So in this case, we want to display our team and give them the ability to invite new members. So let's make this a list of users. And what we're going to do to get this list of users is we're going to search for the current logged in admin user. We're going to look for the people who are members of them. So we're going to say, search for the users that are members of this current user. So this will get us the list of users that we're looking for. And then let's go ahead and add in some nice formatting to this. So let's make this one represent the email. So we're going to just delete that, do that, say current cells email, and make it, there we go, perfect. And then the next thing we want to do is add a button in here. This will be our, crap, I lost it. There we go. We're going to add a button that says remove. This will remove your team member in case you don't want them anymore. Kick them out. All right. And now let's make this have 10 rows because we're going to maybe want to invite a lot of people, a full list, so we don't have to deal with pagination right now. And center everything vertically. I could get that button. There we go. And we got ourselves the basic block here. And that's done. We want to add a big button here that says invite. So this is going to be the button that's going to display a modal for you to invite your people. And next, last but not least, we need to create two modal windows. Modal number one is going to be the invitation form for people to enter emails of the people they want to invite to the application. So it's going to say invite a team member, make it big. There we go. Add in a form here, say, make this an email, because how else are you going to invite people in this day and age? By letter? I don't think so. All right, so let's make that a required field. Center it horizontally. And then let's add a final button for them to trigger the invitation process. Perfect. And now I'm going to add workflows to all of this in a second, but we just need one more modal, which is the upgrade modal. So if they've gone over that max team member limit, we need to have them upgrade. So we need to just put some text in here that says you've reached your maximum users, please upgrade. Let's make it a little bigger. And then we just want to add a link that says upgrade, and then make it kind of look like a button. I think would be perfect. I am not a designer, so please forgive me. All right, and then we just want to point this upgrade button to the subscription portal page to have them upgrade. Okay, whoops. Okay, perfect. So let's center this. Okay, so that's that. There's one thing, so that's creating the team page. There's one thing I just realized I forgot to do, which is we wanted to make our first 3 team members free. So we're going to change this database to a 3. I'm sorry for forgetting that. Okay, so we've gotten all the elements on our team page created. Let's go ahead and hook up some workflows. Let's start from the top. We're going to make this remove button actually delete the user. So we're going to say in our data, we are going to delete the current cell. All right, that's all we need for remove. For this invite button, we wanted to display, let's go ahead and, there's 2 cases that can happen when you click this invite. 1, it displays the form for you to invite, or 2, it displays the upgrade window depending on how your max team members situation is. And we're gonna go through exactly how that works. So show pop-up A only when, and now we're gonna do a search to get the number of users that are currently in here. So we're gonna say, search for the member of equal to the current user. We'll see this query a lot. So this will get us that, and then we want the number of them. And here's the key. We want to make sure that this number of users we have is less than the current user's max team members, because if it's over, we want to display the other form. So now that we have that logic in here, we want to basically duplicate this. So copy, paste. So now we just want to have a case for showing pop-up B, which is our upgrade window. And we're going to all we're going to do is change this less than to a greater than or equal to make, so if the number of users is greater than or equal to the max team members, the user is going to need to upgrade. And then the last thing we need to do here in our workflow is we just need to set up pop-up A's invite button to actually invite the user. So let's create a workflow for that button. And what it's going to do is we're going to create an account for somebody else, that person being the input emails value. And the key thing here is to make sure the member of is equal to the current user. So this new user we're inviting is going to belong to the admin under their team and show up in that list. So now that that's done, we're going to do a nice thing to send them a password reset email, which will help them get onboarded. So let's set that and say, finish your account setup or whatever. And you can put whatever message in here. Click the link below. So that's what it would do. And then last but not least, we just want to hide that little modal. So pop-up A gets hidden. Perfect. All right. So that should be all the workflows. Let's go ahead and give it a test. So let's go to our preview here. I'm going to log out and start over from scratch with a new user. That'll be our test user because this one doesn't have the new fields. Okay. So let's go back to start here. Okay. So let's say test user 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we're back in here. So we have this team button now. We click this. And now we're going to invite some users. All right. We're going to invite Bob. And we're going to invite Bob1. And we're going to invite Bob2. And when we try and invite Bob3, it's probably going to hopefully give us the, yeah, you reached your maximum users, please upgrade. It's doing this because we set our default value of that max users to 3. And now it's going to tell us to upgrade. This will send us to our portal, which isn't set up yet, but this is how our billing is going to kind of work. And if I remove one of these, it should delete them from the list and let us invite another one because we are under our limit once more. All right, so that's demoed properly. So let's get the billing set up. We're going to go ahead and configure our Stripe account. So what I need to do as a business, we want to charge based on the number of users here, and we want 2 tiers. So we want a basic plan and a premium, basic tier and premium tier. So I'm going to call this basic tier. And we're gonna, because we're using Servicebot, we need to add in some metadata here called SB service and SB tier. We're gonna call this Zeroqode product. And we're gonna create a SB tier. So this service is kind of the high level, and the tier is the tier. And then we need one more, which is quantity enabled to let the user self-service their quantity. Otherwise, it wouldn't be working. And we're gonna make our basic tier cost $5 per user per month. We wanna change this unit label to user. And I think we're good to go on this one. We wanna add one more tier. So let's save and add another. We're gonna call it premium tier. Add in some of the similar metadata, change this to user. We're gonna go SB service equal to Zeroqode product. SB tier is gonna be premium. And the good old quantity enabled is gonna be true. It's gonna be $10 per user per month if you're on the premium tier here. And I think we'll be good to go with this. I'm gonna save this. All right, so that is all we need to do to configure Stripe. I'm gonna check that. Next, we're gonna create our billing page within Servicebot. If you're not familiar with Servicebot, Servicebot lets you create embeddable billing pages. We built a plugin for Bubble that lets you put any of these within your Bubble application. That's what the template that the Servicebot Kickstarter template is using. So what we're gonna need for this is the plan picker embeddable. So I'm gonna click plan picker here. Here's the Zeroqode product I just created. We're gonna go ahead and configure this to show subscription for users with existing subscriptions. And I'm gonna go through this kind of quickly, but we'll be having some resources around this if you're interested in setting these up. Basically, you can configure these embeds however you want to have all kinds of options like showing things, hiding things, special cancellation rules. We're going to let our customers update quantity. So that's this update button here in the portal. And the last thing we need to do is configure the checkout settings. So at checkout, we also need them to be able to enter a quantity. And that should be it for us on these configurations. I'm just going to go ahead and leave everything else default and save this. And you just click this Bubble button, press copy code right here. And we're going to go back into the Bubble application and click our subscription portal. This is where this element here is one of our plugin elements that we provide. I'm going to click here, delete all the stuff in here because we don't need it anymore. That was just for the template. We're going to paste in that code that we got. And the key thing for our use case is we're going to make this minimum. It's going to be dynamic based on the number of users they have. So we want this minimum. So we're going to go ahead and insert here. We want this minimum to be equal to the list of users. So the count of users that belong to this. So we don't want them to be able to go under that. So we're going to do that same old query we always do. We're going to look for the users that are members of the current user, the current logged in user. And then we're going to get the count of this. And something we're going to add to this, because we wanted the first 3 users free, we're going to subtract by 3. So we're going to say -3. And that -3 will make it so if we have 3 users, or 4 users. Let's say we have 4 users, it'll only charge us, we only get charged for 1 basically, because the first 3 are free. Now that that's done, I think that's everything we need to do to configure Servicebot. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to webhooks. Now, if you're not familiar with how webhooks work, basically anytime an event happens in a system, you can send a request somewhere, so you alert a system of that. For our case, we want Stripe, anytime anything happens to the subscription in Stripe, we wanted to alert Bubble and open up, edit, modify perhaps some of the database, data in the database. So let me go ahead and show you. This template comes with some webhooks, Stripe webhooks baked into it, a receiver. So there's this thing in Bubble called a backend workflow. That's a piece of code or not code, but a workflow in Bubble that you can call using from any other systems. And in this case, we want Stripe to call Bubble. And anytime a subscription gets updated, right now what it's doing is it's updating the subscription status to whatever happens to the subscription. This case, this is very common use case when, for example, a customer's credit card gets declined and the subscription gets canceled. You want to update your Bubble database so you know not to allow them access to restricted content. Now, what we want to do is add another thing in here and update max team members to equal the request data, which is what Stripe is going to be sending us. And we want it to be updated to the quantity, and we want it to be +3, because if you're paying for 1 user, we want them to be able to have 1 plus an additional 3, because it's 3 free. Got to keep remembering that. So if you're paying for 1, you get 4 max team members. So this will help us with that. And next, we just need to add this as an endpoint for Stripe to call whenever an event happens. So you go into your API tab, grab this URL, and within your Stripe account, we go into the developer section, and under webhooks, we just add a new one, do that. And then the other thing you need is the name of the backend workflow, which in this case is Stripe subscription update. So we're going to do workflow / Stripe subscription update. And we're going to add in a couple events, all the subscription ones that we care about, which are going to be subscription created, subscription deleted, and subscription updated. Those are what we're caring about at the moment. We're going to create this webhook. So now anytime an event happens with the subscription and any of these events, it's going to send a payload to Bubble and update the database of the user. All right, so that's webhooks. And now we're going to be doing our final demo and then clock it in and see. I can answer some questions, or we'll see what happens. So let's go ahead, and I think we got everything. I'm going to start by demoing this whole thing. Let's go get back into the app. We should be logged in already. Okay. I'm going to click on team and invite one more team member so we hit our limit here. Let's go Bob3. So just to show that this is still working, so we hit our limit. We're at 3 max users. Let's go ahead and upgrade our account. So we go to our billing here. We're going to go with the premium plan. I'm going to enter some test credit card information in here. And we're going to purchase, let's add 2 users. So we would get a total of 5 users, 3 free, 2 we're paying for. Let's go ahead and confirm that. And the Stripe webhook, so now we have access to premium. And let's go ahead and see if we can start inviting some more team members. So see, now that this window is showing properly, we can go and look in our Bubble database. If we look at the user data, you can see that we have a max team member of 5. So that webhook that I had just created had updated Bubble telling us, hey, your quantity has been increased. You're good to go to invite, Bob 4 and Bob 5. So let's go ahead and invite Bob 4, invite Bob 5. And then let's go back and see if we can't. Yeah, we can't invite Bob 6. So I'm going to go to my billing embed here. So this is the portal, and we can actually update this quantity to go up to, we can add another user. So let's confirm that. And that should update this database to have a number 6 in here. If I refresh that. Yeah, so that shows up at 6. If we go back to our team page here, you'll see we can invite another user. We have to invite Bob 6. He's waiting. All right, Bob 6 has been invited, and that concludes the demo. Let's clock it in at a total of 22 minutes and 11 seconds. We'll say 22 minutes, 12 seconds. I can answer any questions if there's any questions for, if anyone has questions, I have some time left over. But that's
Ben,
it for
thank
me.
you so much. You were like Sonic with that speed demo. Really amazing, good stuff. Unfortunately, we don't have any time for questions, but hang around in the chats. I'm sure plenty of people can ask you questions there. Or how can people reach out to you, Ben?
The best way to reach out to me right now is just if you have I can answer questions in chat, or you can just email me at ben@servicebot.io, and you can reach out to me there. And also make sure to check out our product hunt. There should be a link in chat. We just launched a lot of new features today, all those billing pages. So go check that out. Leave us any comments there. We're on top of that right now. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.